This is the second part of explaining all of the Blocktails bosses. If you haven't seen the last video, please watch it before watching this one. Green and Purple Noob, shortened to Green and Purple, are the first bosses players will encounter in Chapter 3. They can be found on the Biswell train in Chapter 3, and surprisingly, they can be found in the Turritopulus Inn during Chapter 2. Trash talking red and blue. Green has green arms, a green head, darker green legs, a darker torso, and the black iron mace of Ponage. Purple has a similar color scheme, but it's, purple. And she wields a purple katana. They both have freckles and angry expression. Green has 16 health and 3 moves. Mace Smack is Green jumping in the air using his mace, spinning twice, and slamming his mace down on you, dealing 5 damage and piercing defense. Double Mace is Green bashing you twice with his mace, dealing 3 damage per hit and piercing defense. Charge Poisons lets Green apply a level 2 poison enchant to himself. Purple has 14 health and 2 moves. Speedy Slash lets Purple run up to you and immediately slash you, dealing 5 damage. Triple Slash lets Purple run up to you again, but this time slashing you twice, pausing, and stabbing you for a 3rd hit, dealing 2 damage per hit. They have a universal move which is just the same as Red and Blue's. Whenever one is down, the other gets an attack up for the rest of the battle. Green and Purple have been plotting to get back at Red and Blue for what seems like a long time. They don't even care about Red and Blue. They just want them to go back to doing crime and abusing them because they're both narcissists. Which is why when they do invade the train, Red and Blue temporarily ally up with you, who probably has no idea what is going on. I will give them one thing, their theme is a lot better than Red and Blue's. Turkey is a mini-boss that has to be defeated for the Ghost Chef's quest. It can be encountered in Telemon's Manor and actually fought way before you're supposed to. It has rose-toned brown feathers, gray blue skin, a red neck, an orange beak, and ruffled tail feathers. It is 20 health and just 2 moves. Turkey Fury lets the turkey walk up to you, pecking you, and kicking you with both legs at once, each hit dealing 3 damage. Meanwhile, the second move, Blunderbuss, is what happens when you don't kill it fast enough and it pulls out a gun, which can't be dodged or blocked and does 12 damage. Why does a turkey have a gun? Well, at least the theme is pretty good. Before floor 39 and 3 Fears, it was planned to have 4 turkeys instead, which would actually be a lot harder given the gun was literally undodgeable. Slasher is a mini-boss that was teased as the final boss of Chapter 3. He can be found at the entrance of the catacombs, and he reappears in floor 34 of the pit. He was probably hired by Telmon to guard the Ghost Walker, but he sucks at his job because compared to the 4 bosses after this, he's easy. He has an R6 body, a brown jacket, a dark blue pair of jeans, a hockey mask with eye holes that start glowing red when he is using Slasher's signature, and he wields a machete. He has 30 health and 3 moves. Slasher's signature allows him to dive into a dark forest that grows around you and then quickly stabbing you from multiple angles. He stabs you 4 times and each hit deals 2 damage. Jump Stab allows Slasher to jump in the air and land directly on you, dealing 7 damage. Shield Up is exactly what it sounds like, and he just shakes his head around as his eyes glow and gives himself defense up level 3 for 3 turns. Pretty good idea to trick people into thinking this guy was the final boss. Greed is the first boss in Dreamworld, and he's the personification of all your greed. Prepare for number 1 of 4 bosses that you could have avoided if you bothered to listen to anything Ghost Chef said. Anyway, Greed can also be encountered on floor 37 of the pit. To get to him in Dreamworld, you have to go through a maze while attacking his hands as they reach out to grab you. After making it to the end of the maze, there will be a pile of ticks that lures the player into a trap and initiates Greed's battle. Greed has a lot of very interesting and helpful dialogue like dollar bills. Greed is a pixelated, short, and dark old humanoid that has long stretchy arms and a circular head with a giant hole where its face is supposed to be. Greed has 34 health and 3 moves. Greedy Smack allows Greed to summon 2 arms from the ground and slam them at you one at a time, dealing 5 damage per hit. Stretchy Solution lets Greed stretch its face like a rubber band and apply a stretchy buff to itself for 3 turns. This buff lets Greed heal for 5 health if it does a total of 10 damage. Greedy Smack 2 is Greed's last move, and it can summon 2 arms from the ground again, but this time they are slammed together with you in the middle, dealing 8 damage. Greed's theme is inspired by Sonic CD's wacky workbench themes, specifically Bad Future. Greed did nothing wrong, it just wanted dollar bills. Okay, I'm here to break the 4th wall, because I know for a fact you are lying on the left side of your bed with your phone on max brightness and are still not subscribed. Come on, we gotta hit 100k before the end of summer. It's not just a me thing either. You get more videos from us explaining everything about Roblox before anybody else. Solitude is the second boss in the dream world, and it reappears on floor 38 of the pit. Solitude is the personification of, well, solitude. To initiate the boss battle, you have to get the isolation orb by defeating Greed, and then you have to complete a little puzzle. The puzzle has 4 symbols around a hole. The symbols around the hole indicate which direction you go when you drop in the hole. For example, sky was down, moon was left, ocean was up, and sun was right. Jumping down the hole would officially start the puzzle, and you would see one of the symbols above your head, which is the direction you go. But everything I just said was made completely useless because currently the game just puts an arrow above your head instead. Oh, and going the wrong direction would make an eye open up on your screen and reset the puzzle. After making it through the not so hard anymore puzzle, you see Solitude, who, before fighting you, gives you a little hint that Builderman is hatred in disguise, but you don't listen. Solitude is a pixelated deep blue vertical thing with an oblong eye, a small singular pupil, and liquid-like properties. Solitude has 40 health and 3 moves. Spike Spot lets Solitude make a spike out of its eye and fires it, dealing 8 damage to the entire party and piercing defense. Pain Rain lets Solitude fire 6 teardrops into the air that target multiple other players at random, and each teardrop dealing 2 damage. Detachment is Solitude's last move, and it changes its shape to apply detachment to itself for 3 turns. I don't really know what detachment does, but apparently it can make Solitude do the most damage in the game, so good luck with that. Fear is the third boss in Dreamworld, and it does its best to try and convince you that Builderman is evil, but if you couldn't tell before, you have a hard time listening to anyone who's not Shadletsky. Fear reappears in floors 39 and 48 of the pit, but 39 is the one you should be worried about because 3 of them spawn in. To initiate Fear's boss battle, you have to beat Solitude first and then traverse through the forest puzzle, which isn't hard. You just have to look for any arrow and go the opposite direction. Going the same direction as the arrow restarts the puzzle. Fear outright tells you that you're being manipulated and even tries to save you. Fear's last words before the fight are literally, "All I did was try to save you." I don't even know why you have to kill Fear. Fear isn't a negative emotion, it's what keeps you out of danger, but who cares? Not like you listened anyway. Fear is a long, purple, pixelated, and slender stickman-like thing without legs or a head. It has an inverted triangle for a torso that looks like a pole at the end, twig-like protrusions, and 6 arms, with 4 on the triangle and 2 on the pole. Fear has 50 health and 4 moves. Shockwave lets Fear slam its pole into the ground, causing a tendril to fall into the ground and rise closer to you, dealing 8 damage to the entire party, 1 player at a time. Apprehension is a ranged move that lets Fear summon a purple orb above itself that gradually increases in size. After 2 seconds, the orb will strike the party with a beam that deals 10 damage. Call for help is self-explanatory, but this time it's done way cooler. The screen darkens and the music cuts out for a second, and then a phobia appears. Total Dismay lets Fear scream, and it silences the party for 3 turns. Pretty good theme, but Fear didn't deserve getting jumped for trying to help. Hatred is the final boss of Chapter 3, and it's one of the best boss fights in the game. Hatred is inspired by Gygas from Earthbound. Hatred, like other bosses, can be encountered in Dreamworld, but it has always been there since you woke up in Dreamworld. It disguised itself as Builderman and followed you around, telling you to defeat your negative emotions, which were actually trying to save you, except for greed. I don't think greed cares. After defeating Fear, Hatred reveals itself and sends you to a more twisted version of Dreamworld. To initiate Hatred's boss fight, you have to go through a puzzle to find its heart. Its heart is in the center of the puzzle, but the screen slowly flashes red while you're looking for the heart. You have to use the ghost potion to avoid being hit by these red flashes. Hatred's real form is a thin, slim creature with horns, a spiked tail, and a highly malleable body that allows itself to transform into various shapes. He has 50 health and 4 moves. Corruption lets Hatred charge up before launching 3 red orbs toward you, each one dealing 4 damage and making you confused for 3 turns. PK Thunder lets Hatred shift into an orbital cannon with an eye, and he conjures up a massive lightning strike from the sky, dealing 12 damage and piercing defense. This move gets easier to dodge once you're used to it, but those few first times you encounter it feel like it's undodgeable. Charge Outburst is literally undodgeable. Hatred curls up into a ball, using up a turn and applying itself with Charged. In its next turn, it releases a shockwave of energy that deals 60 damage to anyone caught in it, basically killing everything on screen that doesn't have the invisible or dodgy attributes. Call for Help allows Hatred to contort into a demonic face and summon an apparition from the ground. This is going to be the hardest boss you face until Chapter 4. But hey, this is one of the most fun boss fights in the game, and it has arguably the best theme in the game too. Chapter 4 bosses. The Great Foxy Nazi Nihili Pilification, shortened to the Great Foxy, is a mini-boss and the first boss in Chapter 4. He appears in the ancient tomb on floor 47 of the pit. More specifically, he is found in the ancient tomb where the player finds a bottled ship, which allows Flocci to burst out of it. He wants to grant the player 2 wishes, but when you actually wish for something, it doesn't work. This genie's a fraud. He says he'll grant you a redo wish, but this time you wish for the bottled ship, which is his home, and it makes him mad, so he initiates a fight with you. Flocci is a muscular blue-skinned genie with an angry face that occasionally turns smug and shows off his yellow eyes and teeth. He has a necklace with large white teeth, a royal purple turban with a pink feather and a blue gem in the center, and a dark purple sleeveless vest with a gold trim. He has 30 health and 5 moves. You're probably wondering how he can use any moves. He's a genie. He can't give himself wishes. Well, he doesn't. Instead, he uses his first move, Mannequin, which lets him summon an animated mannequin named Doohickey that will ask for wishes that he grants. It's Flocci's way of finding a loophole, even though this breaks just about every genie rule ever created. At least the moves are insanely creative. Fame is the second one, and Doohickey wishes for you to be famous, so Flocci summons a crowd of excited cardboard Robloxians to literally jump you, dealing 3 damage per hit. Rich is the third move, and Doohickey wishes for you to gain wealth, so Flocci summons hundreds of coins to rain down on you. You can get hit up to 8 times, each hit dealing 1 damage. And just when you thought it was over, a giant golden Bloxy ward falls on you, which deals 4 damage. Flocci's fourth move is Slashes, which is him actually attacking you himself by just swiping his hands at you, dealing 5 damage per hit. Car is his last move, and it is unironically harder to avoid than Hatred's PK Thunder. Doohickey wishes for a car, and Flocci summons an off-screen car that's going at least 100 miles an hour to zoom past the screen to the right, dealing 10 damage to everyone it hits. After beating this useless genie, he gives you the bottled ship and leaves, but then you meet him again after you find a shovel. Turns out Flocci was living in the shovel now, but you need the shovel, so for your second wish, you ask for the shovel. Seeing him makes him pretty mad until Calypso tells him he should just grant the wish so you can leave him alone. This causes him to make probably the greatest facial expression in gaming history. He also makes a similar expression if your first wish was for the sword fights on the Heights swords. The Temple Guardian is what happens when you try to find hidden treasure in a pyramid. There are multiple games and movies on why this is a bad idea, and Calypso gives like 100 different warnings of the hieroglyphics talking about Temple Guardians, sacrifices, and other stuff you probably didn't pay attention to. Anyway, you encounter the Temple Guardian on the Ancient Bridge and on floor 48 of the pit. While on the Ancient Bridge, you, Calypso, and Captain Trotter are attacked by the Temple Guardian. This is easily the coolest background to a fight ever, as you're fighting on a falling pattern. But don't worry, you have Calypso as an ally, while Captain Trotter is falling in the background. The Temple Guardian takes the appearance of an Egyptian pharaoh's head, and his hands are a darker tone, and they only have 4 fingers. Fighting the Temple Guardian is tricky, because its head is completely invincible until you kill the hands. And even after killing the hands, the head is flying, so you can't use a sword. The Temple Guardian has 45 health total, 15 split between the head and the hands. The head has 2 moves, the Ray of Ra and Guardian Bite. The Ray of Ra lets the Temple Guardian open its mouth and charge up an orange ball of energy that fires a ray that hits the whole party, dealing 12 damage and applying burn for 6 turns. Guardian Bite lets the Temple Guardian move up to you, open its mouth and bite down, dealing 15 damage and applying Ankh level 3 for 3 turns, whatever that is. The left hand's only move is left zooming, where the hand reels back, turns into a fist, and then moves forward before instantly charging and punching through the party, dealing 10 damage. The right hand's only move is right flick, where it goes in front of you and flicks you, dealing 12 damage. Both the Temple Guardian and Slasher appear at the end of the beginning chapter cutscenes to make players think they're fighting the final boss. This boss is quite unique, since it completely disables your sword fights on the Heights swords. The Temple Guardian reminds me of Knuckletech from Super Mario Odyssey. Captain Trotter is one of the main focuses of Chapter 4. He went from a very helpful ally to the secondary antagonist, which, to be fair, is definitely partly your fault. He appears throughout the second half of Chapter 4, and he appears on floor 49 of the pit, which consists of 3 Captain Trotters and Megaphone Man, so good luck with that. He has yellow skin, a hook replacing his right hand, a left peg leg, dual cutlasses on his back, the pirate captain's hat, a black captain's jacket, a red undershirt, an eye patch, a white beard, and the checkered face. He is a very good captain, determined to bring his crew out of poverty. He's the main reason why Calypso is still alive, but after finding out everyone in his crew is dead besides Calypso, because well, what did you expect when going into an ancient pyramid, he gets slightly angry and wants to find a way out and forget the riches. Once everyone finally gets to where the firebrand is, and he sees the riches, he doesn't even bother taking them because he lost his crew. Very respectable. But things change when he sees you going for the firebrand. After going back and forth with him, he completely turns into an antagonist and picks up the firebrand to initiate a boss fight. Just like the schizophrenic king and the schizophrenic teenager, the firebrand has corrupted Captain Trotter's mind. Again, this is entirely your fault. Maybe if you just waited for them to leave and secretly took the sword, this wouldn't be a problem. I mean, from his perspective, Calypso has been telling him about the dangers of getting the firebrand and all the other bad things that could happen. He already lost his crew and he decided to take it away. Captain Trotter has 40 health and 6 moves. Stance change allows him to change his stance depending on what attack hits him. If it were a ranged attack, then he'll have his hook pointed out to pop any ball you throw at him. Pause. This also includes dynamite and sword toss. If you use a sword, he'll change his stance to be more defensive to block melee attacks. His second move is coin flip, and no, it's not the coin flip Chance does, it's from an even cooler game. Coin flip allows Captain Trotter to channel his inner ultra kill and perform a Rico shot that does 15 damage, but before that he looks at the coin briefly, then fires at you 3 times, dealing 5 damage per shot. Barrel toss lets Captain Trotter throw a barrel at you that bounces twice, dealing 6 damage and causing you to burn and any other player around you to burn. Inferno is an undodgeable attack in which Captain Trotter winds up his arm twice and slams the firebrand into the ground, dealing 10 damage to the whole party and applying burn and attack down level 2 for 3 turns. But it can be bypassed by applying dodgy or invisible. Drink allows Captain Trotter to, well, drink a mug of pirate juice, gaining defensive for 3 turns. Pirate Spirit allows Captain Trotter to stab the ground with the firebrand and summon a pirate spirit, but this can only be used below half health. After defeating Captain Trotter, he goes on another rant, and then he and Calypso start fighting, which ends with her accidentally pushing him off the cliff and becoming a sacrifice for the firebrand. The sacrifice allows the ancients to come back after who knows how many years, unless they specified it and I just wasn't paying attention. The ancients are the final boss of chapter 4, and just like Hatred, easily one of the best boss fights in the game. I mean, the theme for this fight literally has lyrics, what more could I say? The ancients appear after they are summoned from Captain Trotter being sacrificed, as the prophecy and 100 million hieroglyphs foretold. The ancients are many unconnected shapes with a circle in the center that feature the Eye of Ra, 6 circles around it being portraits of Egyptian gods being Ra, Horus, Bastet, Sobek, Thoth, and Osiris. 1 circle below the main circle. 1 circle above that features flourishes that look like horns of a scarab beetle. 1 hollow circle to frame the design. 6 smaller arms, 2 larger and more detailed arms, and 2 giant wings. Wow, that's a lot. So much that I forgot I was still describing the actual features of them. The ancients are, well, to put it simply, Egyptian gods who speak mostly in hieroglyphs with a couple of English words here and there. The ancients have 60 health and 8 moves. Wheel is the first move, and it is activated when the ancients fly toward you and spin their arm in a circle twice, dealing 8 damage per hit. Beam is a beam of fire that the ancients shoot at you, dealing 15 damage and causing you to be confused for 2 turns. Call for help lets the ancients summon 2 vessels, and the ancients can't be damaged until all the vessels are killed. Just use line bounce. Restoration is what happens when the ancients try to use call for help, but can't summon any more vessels. Instead, they will just restore 4 health to all enemies. Fireball is what the ancients fire at you, dealing 10 damage and causing you to burn for 9 turns, and all other party members just take 10 damage. Ultra Beam is one of the hardest moves because the ancients rapid fire 19 lasers, each doing 2 damage and making you dizzy for 2 turns. But this attack can be blocked and voided, though it's recommended to just apply invisible or dodgy to yourself or have 2 defense cards or a cherry pie. This move can be extremely hard to deal with if you don't understand how to counter it, but after you do, it becomes pretty easy. Darkness is one of the ancients' last moves. It makes them close their eyes and meditate, darkening the screen for 2 turns and making the health of all enemies hidden and hiding all status effects. The last and most annoying move is actually a passive. Once the ancients are brought down to half health, they will gain both fine and disabled NRG attributes, effectively getting rid of your ability to use the sword fights on the height swords for the rest of the fight. After defeating the ancients, they talk about how humans are so strong now that they can defeat gods. They then thank you and Calypso for sacrificing Captain Trotter and tell you that his soul is now sealed in the firebrand. Then the ancients explode and the firebrand is yours for the taking. But before you take it, Calypso, understandably, starts getting really emotional since, you know, you just interrupted directly killed the closest person to her, besides her sister Kyoko, but she hasn't seen her in years. While Calypso is basically depressed, you decide to go and take the firebrand anyway, right in front of her with no care in the world. I thought you only killed your negative emotions, not all of your positive ones. Sadness wasn't among the emotions you got rid of. I know you did it for Shedletsky, but you really did cause more harm than good in this chapter. Finn McCool is yet another super boss I didn't know existed until today. He can be encountered south of Vermilion Village in the Dune spot after completing chapter 4. Yes, that is word for word. I told you I didn't know this guy existed. He has yellow skin, dark green pants, a purple sleeveless shirt, a shining pair of black shades over another pair of shades, the Superfly baseball cap, a wooden baseball bat, and a smug grin on his face. This absolute random has 100 health and 6 moves. So by this logic, he is harder to kill than the absolute embodiment of hatred and ancient Egyptian gods. Maybe I'm just severely underestimating him. Bat combo allows Finn to walk up to you, kneel down, and then swing his bat twice, dealing 10 damage per hit. Yes, a wooden bat is more likely to kill you than ancient gods. Baseball shot has 2 variants. The first one is Finn pulling out a small white baseball, tossing it in the air, and then striking it with his baseball bat. The second one is Finn juggling the baseball and hitting it upwards twice before hitting it toward you. Both variants do 20 damage and make you confused for 3 turns. Flex is Finn tossing a pair of shades behind him, gaining the fast and fine attributes, and healing him and his allies 2 health. Charge power lets Finn charge up, tossing his baby up from behind him, jumping up to catch it in front of him, before swinging it back behind him again and ending in a crouch pose. Did all of that for a charge up. Bat Smackdown is a move that lets Finn run up to you, crouch, and then twirl his bat under his shoulders to hit you twice, and then get up quickly and hit you. Each hit deals 10 damage and causes you to be slow for 3 turns. Like every overpowered boss in this game, Finn McCool has a call for help move, in which he summons either Shotgun Blox or Megaphone Man. Oh, that's why his bat does so much damage. It's based on Goro Majima's Slugger bat from Yakuza 0. After defeating this absolute unit, you are rewarded with the Converging Timelines achievement and the Aggressor card. If you like this video, you will definitely like this video on screen. Comment below if you want to see more Block Tales or if you want to see other Roblox games or topics explained next. Oh, and subscribe. See you soon.